Welcome. What episode is this?
Episode 37.
I hate you so much.
It is 47.
It is 47, isn't it?
Yeah.
Episode 47 of Continuous Outrage.
Absolutely. And I had a thought earlier.
I don't want to know what
today.
it was.
Yes, you do.
I don't want to know.
Because earlier I had decided, I made the decision on my own that we were just going to change the name of the show to Continuous 37. And I think that is for the best. That way I don't have to say it at the beginning of every episode.
And yet you will.
It pains me.
I really will.
It pains me to say that tonight is our last episode.
It's not about having to
We
say
have
it.
to
It's
put
about
it down.
wanting to.
We
We have to put him down.
We've got an action-packed show for you tonight. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about some pop culture happenings.
The big survey for Warhammer community.
Yep. Can we start off by talking about the 900-year-old building that somehow caught on fire?
Oh.
Yeah, I have yet to look into how that happened.
Well,
Can't imagine they have kitchens in there.
no,
Tony,
I
have you
can't
heard
remember.
anything to the cause of the fire?
Well, they say it was construction. Whether or not.
Construction.
I think, yeah.
Well, the building was being renovated.
It really feels like they're going in the opposite direction there.
Right.
I think,
that's an
yeah.
astute observation.
well, the police, I know the police investigated and they did rule out any sort of foul play.
Already?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
If you believe it, they did.
I mean,
What's your,
don't-
your thought?
you don't really have anything else to go on at the moment.
You're
That's
right.
the problem.
Well,
they
so
were
that's a
saying that
pretty
while the
quick-
building was still on fire.
Well, it's the same
Did
thing
they?
like when
Yeah.
you have a
They
like a
started saying
mass
that,
shooting or you have like some kind of tragic event. They're like, oh yeah, it's John Doe. Clear, we know who it is. He's in there. We got him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's always suspect when they're that quick to.
Right.
You don't
Hey,
want to
Tony, I
investigate.
don't think we have video.
We do now.
we do?
I didn't cut to the video.
That's
until-
all right.
Okay.
They don't want to see
They'll-
our
they'll see
mugs
it.
Are
They'll
we
see
on
it.
Facebook?
Yeah, dog. So anyway, so do you not think that it was just construction? You
I
think it was
don't
more?
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about it. All I know is that it was an old building that a lot of damage was done to it, right? I mean, it wasn't totally.
Well,
like-
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you count, like you can't even. We were actually just talking about not necessarily the subject, but the price of old musical, like old.
Yeah, old instruments.
Yeah,
oh, I mean, there
instruments,
were
thank you.
priceless
I mean,
items
you-
in
like,
you know.
What's
how
up,
much?
Eli?
How much that organ inside the
Well, it's
cathedral?
irreplaceable, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's
you can't.
really-
You can't.
can't
You
put
can't
a
even
value on it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even put a price on all the stuff and all the damage that was done. That's the. I mean, that's.
What
It's
up,
it's unfortunate what happened.
It's really unfortunate.
It really
now,
sucks.
I do want to point out. I didn't realize it till this morning. I saw a meme about it that was listing all the bad things that have happened on April 15th,
Oh yeah.
which is my birthday.
Oh.
So we just add
wait.
another
Chalk
one.
up
Oh,
another one.
this happened on, your
On my birthday.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, Titanic
Yeah,
sank
Yeah, no,
on
we
April
always talk
15th.
about this. On his birthday, that was the day that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated.
Yep.
It's
The Titanic sunk.
The Titanic sunk. Tim was born.
Yep. It's tax day.
Like,
in the United
it's
States.
tax day.
The Boston
I'm staying
Marathon
home
bombing.
April 15th.
Boston Marathon bombing. Notre
just-
Dame burned down.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's that's just all bad.
none of it's good stuff.
Literally 6 terrible things.
Terrible. No, that's
all
unfortunate.
equivalent to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every single one of them.
All
Yeah.
None
horrible but
worse
equal.
than any of the others.
It's really unfortunate that something that that historic it was 900 years old, right?
I think it was
between
older than
850
that.
and 900 or
Yeah, I
something
mean,
like that.
in a very old structure.
Oh wait, yeah,
It probably took forever to build.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it probably took over 100 years to build it, right?
Did you guys hear that?
Maybe not 100 years. That's a long time.
The scans and data from that they used to make Assassin's Creed Unity, like because they made that structure in the game.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
actually using those data files to help in the reconstruction.
Really?
Nice.
That's actually
Why
pretty
not?
cool.
Because you don't have
Yeah.
blueprints of a
Yeah,
900-year-old building.
No, of course not.
So you have they're using like what they did to recreate in the game to rebuild and repair Notre
It's
Dame.
Tim Hellboy. I'm not Hellboy, Eli.
Yeah, they say 856 years.
That's
Although
crazy.
it looks like it
Okay.
was probably built from 1163 to 1345.
So yeah,
But I mean, like,
100 years.
like it's not like it would have been necessarily in progress that entire time.
No,
but
no.
it would
Well,
have
right, different
like,
things added and
Additions, yeah.
Tony, Jason said that Twitch is just a black screen.
Black screen with our logo.
He just said it's just a black screen.
Oh.
I don't know.
How black are we talking, Jason? Can we get a definition of that darkness?
Let's change the subject.
Yeah, so that was a big news item, right, in the world that happened over not over the weekend, happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Super unfortunate. Which of course means that memes have spawned from it. Did
Yeah,
you
there
see
have
the
been
one, the
tons of
Duolingo
them.
one?
I
It was
actually-
the
what?
Duolingo, the owl, how it pops up on your phone. It's like looks like somebody forgot their French lessons, and it's the owl with the Notre Dame burning behind it.
Oh my god.
You know the one of like the little girl with the gas station burning behind it.
Oh my! Did somebody do
I've
that?
seen the one where it's just the
no.
little.
I just have to wait for PewDiePie to do his meme reviews.
Yeah.
So.
I saw
I actually
one-
haven't seen any memes of it yet.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Wha-
I've seen
how?
none. I don't know.
There was one of Drogon flying over top of it, breathing fire down
I saw
on
that one. I saw that one. Like they didn't bend the knee or something.
But
I'm now dropping Facebook. Bye, Jason. So yeah, that was a big item yesterday. Also yesterday, GW launched the big community survey for 2019,
that's right.
and
yeah.
it is. Did you take it yet?
Yeah, I took it.
It is big.
I took it
it.
yesterday.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of
It is
content there.
grande.
Yeah, they ask
it
a lot of
definitely
questions.
is going to deter people from doing multiple submissions. You know what I mean? To try to get their opinion.
It probably took me at least 15 minutes.
Oh,
to
it took
fill
me
it.
long. Probably took me almost 45 minutes
Brad, I'm putting-
between.
Really?
Brad,
Well, between
watch,
like doing
Facebook
that
on
and
your
other
phone.
things,
Yeah, Twitch is fine.
which is good.
Must be his
Okay,
own
yeah,
problem.
no, I sat
don't
down.
know.
I just.
He said it was better now, and he was going
Yeah.
back to Twitch.
Oh, I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff in that community survey, which all you guys that play anything, not even necessarily just play GW games, but if you like the product or get on there and give your opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions
Really,
about
really good stuff.
Yeah, about product for one. There was a lot of Codex and Battletome feedback that they were looking for. My
I didn't see much
favorite
on
part,
codexes. Just about
well,
like, do
yeah.
you want more art, more history, that kind of stuff? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
maps.
I think they've pretty much hit the nail on the head for like the gaming content from Codexes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because what are you gonna ask for? More
better
strategy,
organization
more
on some of them.
Yeah, but I think that needs to be brought down to like the
They
core
experiment
rules of the
with
game.
every new book is experimented a little bit differently. I think
Yeah.
7th edition Codex has had it the best, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love.
I think the point structure of 7th edition was way better too.
I think in some regards it
My
was.
favorite thing of the big FAQ was what they did with the Sigmar
The big
portion.
survey or the.
Oh, the big FAQ. Yeah, big survey.
We still don't have the big FAQ.
No, big FAQ.
We
That-
should have it next weekend, I would think.
I hope so. I really
don't
do.
know
End
why-
of the month. End of the month. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be
Yeah,
next
as soon as
weekend.
they
It's Easter
say-
weekend. So
Yeah, they'll be like, hey,
but it's
31st.
it's
here we
already
go.
done. Like they could
Is
literally
there
just
an April 31st?
put it to auto post.
that's
on
why.
Sunday.
Because that's why I think it's just gonna be the end of the month.
Well, I don't know why they would take that long. I mean,
I don't know why they do
I've heard
half
it-
the things
Well,
they
from what
do.
we know, it's
but-
done. From what
Dude,
we've
if
heard,
if
it's done.
it's not like that groundbreaking, just put it out. Anyway, my favorite thing from the big survey was the specific things they were asking about in regards to Age of Sigmar, because they posed some very big and important questions when it came to Sigmar.
You know what's really funny about that?
What?
When it asked me if I played Age of Sigmar, I hit no.
Yeah,
and then
it
I
skipped
missed
over.
all those questions.
Which
that
I
they're
think
talking
was
about.
brilliant. It
Because
was
I
brilliant
think
on their
that's
part.
a
So-
good thing, because why would
No,
they, why would
absolutely.
they want
No,
to
you're
ask you?
absolutely right.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
just
want
saying,
that
like-
because then you'll get
Yeah, because your opinion doesn't matter on
Yeah.
Sigmar.
No,
what I mean?
absolutely
And
right.
like-
I don't play it.
your
because it's-
opinion is literally invalid.
I mean, I don't mean that like in a
You know,
jerk kind
yeah,
of way.
No,
I know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
same
get what
thing
you're
with-
saying. I don't know as much about Sigmar. as you
Yeah.
guys. I understand.
Okay, but you're familiar with the double turn mechanic. How
Yeah, roughly.
at the beginning of every
you
battle
roll,
every turn.
yeah, you roll for priority every turn. You know, if you went first last turn, I think you lose ties or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they came out and just asked outright. They're like, "Do you like this?"
Well, they did. I'm trying to think.
And
back.
it was a yes or no question.
I said no.
I said no.
Although I don't
think-
hate it.
No, I don't hate it either. Like if the game is still great with it in there. I think it would help game balance if it went away, especially for shooting armies, because you take
Being able to shoot twice. Yeah.
you take you take Caradron Overlords and
How you take free people.
yeah, no, them too. But first turn, Overlords they're always like, you go ahead, bud. and then they're going to move up their entire army, and you're at the back.
Yep,
So
and if you
all
can get
they're
2
doing-
turns in a row,
all they're doing is moving up into your shooting range. You're going to shoot them, and then you're going to win the ties in the roll-off.
Yeah.
And then you're going to try to get that double turn first thing in the game.
first player wins ties. Whoever goes first in the previous battle round wins the tie.
Okay,
to
well,
discourage double turns.
Yeah. Oh well, whatever it was, they try again. Or the opposite side of that coin is you're a shooting focused army. Your opponent gets double turn, and now you've gone 2 turns in a row without shooting. It's rough. I really do think it would help game balance if they got away from that.
I think it was really good when Sigmar came out to get people into the into something it was vastly different from fantasy battles. It was different than anything anybody had really played on that scale,
Well, I think mechanics like that I think need to be thought out a little bit better. It's so take deployment at the beginning of 8th edition, for instance, and all the rules tied in with that. It still is kind of clunky, especially if you're playing with 20 plus units, right? And then opposed to last edition, to where like you just deployed your whole army, your opponent deployed your army and their army, and it was a clear advantage.
It makes the game longer too when you
exactly.
go back and forth.
Exactly.
They also in the survey talked about, because in Sigmar,
It's
if
not
you
as
bring a
game
battalion,
This was the next thing I was going to
if
talk
you bring a
about.
battalion in
Which
Sigmar, which is a formation,
like a 7th edition formation.
you deploy that whole thing together.
It's a single drop.
That's interesting.
You can deploy it piecemeal or as a single drop, which usually
There's
no need to not want turn 1 priority, because turn 1 priority you say you go first or I go first.
Is it 40k? Whoever finish drops first
Yes.
goes first.
Well, no, they
you
decide.
get the choice.
Oh,
You
okay.
get to decide if you want to.
This is pre-chapter approved.
Yeah. So what it's saying is that their next big question was, do you think that battalions should be allowed to drop as a single drop? And again, I said no.
Yeah, I don't understand why they would.
There's so many bonuses to taking battalions in Sigmar already.
Okay.
Every battalion that you think of it in 40k. For every formation that you bring, you get an additional command point. You get a warlord. You get a relic, and you get to
trait.
you get to
command trait for allegiance.
put it down as a single drop in addition to the formation rules.
Well, that's a little different in 40k, considering like you can make.
It's just too many bonuses. Like there's too many.
I get what you're.
You already
saying.
want to bring battalions most of the time.
I get
anyway.
what you're saying. The only reason why I think that might be a good idea is because of just how it might not be the exact same way in Sigmar. I don't exactly play it, so but helping limiting the number of drops each person has makes the game, like you said, goes faster, and it's a little less clunky.
But it is a big advantage.
Right.
That's
but
fair. But if both play, if
I think
both
the game
players are
slows
doing
down
it,
with the.
then-
I think it slows down with the deployment in that way, because you can't go back and change it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fair, too.
You remember how many times you set sometimes like, man, right before you forego deployment or start the game, you're like, I'm going to put this over here. You know what I mean? Especially if you were deploying second.
Well, that is a disadvantage to the one drop battalion, then, isn't it?
Bringing chess clocks
Yeah, that's
into
what
the
I'm
mix
saying.
really speeds
Yeah.
it up too.
What's that?
Chess clocks.
Chess clocks are. I've played 1 or 2 games with them, and I really.
Yeah, I'm really starting to warm up to the idea. And
I didn't like
wanna
it at
try
first. I didn't like it at first, but I
We need to
do.
play a game with chess clocks.
I take my time.
Now with
It
chess clocks,
really.
you
I'm notorious
How much
for
time do you
playing
have?
long games.
And do you chess
take,
clock a whole turn or phases?
any
Your
time.
Well, I guess it'd be turn.
Kind of depends.
I think you go back and forth in the combat phase. When it's my turn to activate, I hit the clock.
Yeah. And some people are like.
It'd have to be, because then I'd be like, let me think on your...
Some people, especially if there's like big buckets of dice for saves, they'll hit the clock over to their opponent when they're making their saves on your turn.
Yeah, see,
Especially if they're gonna like really take their time with it,
yeah.
Jump
I-
on.
and all that.
There-
But you
there's,
get,
there's a few reasons why I don't
was
like
it-
chess clocks.
Was
but-
it an hour and?
Well, it's whatever the tournament is.
What are our Acropolis times?
they're 2.5 hours.
So,
So
that'd
it's
be,
an hour
that'd be
and
an hour and
15.
15 minutes per player.
But with a chess clock, if you know the game's going to be over in 3 hours, you can do an hour and a half each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well, and that's the other thing though. Like tournament games don't take very long. And it's because most players who go to a tournament,
a lot of big tournaments now are talking about implementing
Really?
chess
LVO
clocks.
had them.
Yeah,
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, because there's always the guy.
Well,
Think
there's
if
guys
there's
slow
700,
playing.
if there's 700 players,
Yeah, there are the guys who slow
and you got
play. No, I
one
get
guy
you.
on the middle table, you can't advance the round because he's got 900 orcs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Yeah,
I
and-
completely understand.
And
I'm just
you
kind
don't
of.
want to be the.
I'm not very nimble.
Yeah.
So like.
It,
If I'm in a hurry to do something, I'm gonna be knocking stuff over, and
I ran into that a little bit.
I
but
don't want a 40K to turn into a dexterity game.
Right, but if you remember,
that's
if
all.
you're going to like the LVO, presumably you're going to practice
Nah,
with
I
a chess
get ya.
clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I get you.
and then
we've
I
already
believe
got
it
a
was
lot of
top 12 for Adept. Was it top 12 in Adepticon? Top 8?
They did top 16.
Top 6. They in top 16 they made chess clocks like optional. Like you couldn't like
Both
if one player wanted it, you had to play with it.
Yeah,
I just would prefer to have it be the standard.
I don't know.
And, like,
I really would. If you're gonna,
how I
if
feel
anybody's
about
gonna use it, I would prefer if everybody used it.
have you ever thought about making chess clocks like a thing for the Acropolis tournaments?
No, and the only reason is we don't have the ability to provide them. If
I mean,
we could
they
provide
be an
them,
app. Like everyone has a smartphone and
but you're also asking somebody that might have their list on their phone.
yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
and if you want to provide them, you buy some and rent them.
Well, I don't know. Then you're talking about charging more. For the
Yeah, I was about
tournaments
to
and-
say now you're talking
or-
charging
or,
people
you
simply
know,
because
you
they don't
can-
have a chess clock.
A chess clock is also a
It's a little-
$15-$20 investment into a game in which we
Well, I'm
will
not
drop
sure.
$150 on a
I mean,
model.
that's
That's
fair.
totally fair.
That's
like
fair,
it's a
but
very small
But it's not
buy-in.
the problem is it's not a requirement to actually play the game, like a tape measure, for instance. So like you can play an expedient game of 40K without a chess clock.
No, you can't.
Jason
and
but-
we
says
do, we
he's
do
got
it just
'em.
fine here at our
yeah,
tournaments.
Jason says he's got 'em,
agrees.
so-
He thinks that chess clocks should be mandatory, and I agree. Like they
For large tournaments, they should be mandatory.
Yeah, well, I mean, large tournaments, you're going to have you don't want to have the players that are going to show up and they bring 90 poxwalkers in their list, and they're never going to play past turn 2. Like that's just going to be the kind of game that they're going to be because you have a finite amount of time to play, and if you have chess clocks in that, then you're going to show up with that list. You're going to be down to your last 8 minutes at the end of your turn 2. Your opponent's still going to have 54 minutes left.
Now I don't know how it works. Like, do you just continue to play on?
Well, I think that really depends on like the tournament. Like if they're mandatory, then there are.
I haven't
rules
read the ITC chess
involved in
clock
that.
rules. I remember.
I haven't either. Jason, do you know off the top of your head how they handle chess clocks and at LVO and everything? Like when you run out, because normally I know when both players are under 10 minutes, the game ends. Like the game stops.
yeah, in the ITC, I think they changed that to 5.
The 5. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, no, the game doesn't end. You don't start a new turn at that point.
Right. But
Yeah, you
like
play
the game ends at the end of the
Yeah,
turn.
you play the game out to the clock at that point, so you don't start any new
Yeah,
turns.
but like if one player, for example, has 35 minutes and the other player gets under 5 minutes, how is that handled? I'm sudden death. The person out of time can only roll saves.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we weren't really planning on talking about this too much, but I do want to talk about since we're talking about
He
Adepticon.
says he thinks you're right. They may change it to 5, which
I
I
think
agree
they-
with that. I think 5 minutes is better.
yeah, because it's still
like-
10 minutes total on the game clock.
Yeah, like turn
plenty of
turn
time.
5.
Yeah.
Turn 5, you can get so much done.
Especially
in
if you
that-
only need to move one unit onto an objective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially the bottom of the turn, you're like, I don't need to kill anything. I just need to get there. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, I need to make this charge. Nothing else needs to move. Okay, so we had Adepticon a couple weeks ago. We had the LVO a month and a half ago. LVO had... First of all, let me say this. There was a time where we've been running tournaments here for 3 years. Monthly tournaments every month, and the ITC has been a thing for that entire time. And I was really opposed to it in 7th because I didn't think that it was necessarily allocated their changes fairly.
in ITC.
Yeah, and it was my opinion that people like Tau got hit harder than people like Eldar, and it felt like it was a somewhat of a popularity contest. And I know they always polled the community, but if the community overall hates Tau, it came down harder on Tau.
Tower wrecking face right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I've
broadsides
seen.
are wrecking.
No,
They're
I
killing
saw.
it.
I think I saw one of the not to get off track, but one of the top Tau lists. I think might have only had one Riptide, and it was just like I think it was like eight like broadside suits. I'm
That's
like
awesome.
I'm like looking at this like
I'm telling you, man, the edition is
told
still
you.
new enough.
No, I get it.
You've got to try these things.
well, it's not that I can accomplish the same thing with Riptides. Like the reason why I don't do that is because there are so many competitive lists out there that that could charge that and defeat that, because that's how you beat that. If you can lock that in combat, they
Well,
lose.
sure, but I mean, it's the same thing with the.
But it's not the same thing.
At any rate, the
It's not the same thing with Riptides. Riptides play in your face,
Right.
and they can fall
Right.
at you.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you do with the Riptide, right? The Riptide is going to be front and center in front of all those broadsides. You got to get through the Riptide
you still have to
first.
shoot
Maybe.
the Riptide. You still got to shoot it to be able to remove it, because it's not an easy thing to remove necessarily.
One's pretty easy.
Well, but you got to dedicate firepower to it. Though. You're not going to say
Yeah, sure.
you're not going to do
Sure.
one unit to one
Well,
unit.
I mean, and if you don't go first, you'll kill that Riptide, no problem. Or if you do go first, excuse me. But I mean, there's a number of reasons why I would prefer Riptides over broadside suits. And if I should probably reevaluate some of my list. Maybe I'll bring both. Right? Maybe
I
maybe
think,
not three,
I think
maybe
8th
two.
edition. I think it's still important
But-
to try. I mean, somebody won a European event with like 6 chimeras.
Yeah, but
You
I
know,
mean
like,
that
it's
meta
just-
over there is just wacky. They're a bunch
Well,
of
hey, I mean,
Europeans.
they did it.
Those 6 chimeras weren't fighting the same thing it would have been fighting over here.
Well, sure, but
like 6 chimeras will get
there's also
toasted
something
by
to be said
one
about being a
Castellan.
meta breaker too. You know, something that goes against the meta.
I guess,
At any
but
rate,
what
we're
do
not talking about that right now.
Okay.
The ITC was something that I didn't really jump on board with, and I've really more and more have drifted towards it. I think the mission design is pretty good. I think the packets are a little clunky. You know what I mean? There's a little bit where you have to check, do your tertiaries spill over, like you can't double, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of bookwork that I think they could remove, but they're super involved in the community aspect. You know, I mean, they want to know what TOs have to say. They want to know what the players have to say, and I really like that. Man, you guys got me all screwed up. I don't know what the point
You don't know
was.
where you were going with
Well, the point was with hell, I can't remember. Totally can't
Okay.
remember.
All right.
Oh,
So
no, it was about the LVO.
All right,
It was about the LVO in Adepticon. So comparing the two. So Adepticon had a quarter of the players that LVO had, right? LVO basically went off without a hitch, right? So over the last calendar year, and really ever since 8th edition, every major tournament, with the exception of both LVOs in this edition, have had instances of cheating. Okay, now not necessarily intentional cheating, not scooping dice necessarily, but like list infractions. Okay, so there was a list infraction at Adepticon. Okay, there was something at Nova last year. Remember we talked about that on the podcast.
I remember that one.
And the ITC now has a code of conduct policy.
Which honestly they should have had for.
Sure,
Long
but
time.
you know what? Like they are the only ones who've stepped up and done it. To me, Adepticon needs to be held to the same standard. A lot of people go to Adepticon,
probably.
and the fact that you can write a list the morning of the event really bothers me.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I
in
mean,
the LVO, it was like 3 to 4 weeks you had to have your list submitted
Yeah.
before the event for the community to check.
well, I mean, in this
We have the technology to do that. Why is that not the standard?
This is so. And this is one of my problems
Adepticon
with
really
the current.
does their own thing. Like that's.
Well, here's one
and-
of my problems with the.
I don't think it's as good.
No, I mean, you're
I
right.
haven't played in either event, but this is just from the outside looking in.
Well, that's why one of my problems with the way 40K is currently structured, based on building a list, is it's so like. There are
But
so
you
many
can
more
easily
moving.
check legality and illegality, though.
It depends. It all depends.
It's
I
like-
mean,
if somebody
how do you-
showed me a guard list or an Eldar list now, I could look at it
That's-
and say that's legal or illegal.
that's fine, but you're talking about a monocodex list.
no. I can look at an Imperium list and tell if it's legal. I mean, I
Within
can
how
read.
much? Within how much time though?
If I had a month and somebody said, "Okay,
That's-
Tim, here's 200 lists. In the next 3 weeks, you have to go over all these," I could do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not one guy checking them all; it's a whole team. There's a team of judges.
No, I
you know
understand.
the LVO's got 700 players.
I understand, but it shouldn't take you that long. That's my point. Like
What
a
do you
list,
mean?
like a
No,
list-
I agree, but that's
a list
not what
should
we're
be-
talking
a
about. Though.
list
We're not
should be
talking
simpler
about
design.
But that's not the crux of what we're talking about. We're talking about how Adepticon didn't handle that well. The LVO had 3 times the players, and set out enough time to where they could do that.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
because we have the
fair.
framework of 8th edition.
Yeah, that's completely.
Yeah,
And to your point,
you should not be
can't
allowed to show
up.
up with a list.
No, because then that's if the tournament starts at 9, I walk in at 8:30 and say, "Here, Brad, here's my list," and you're like, "I don't know Gene Sierra cult. I don't know what or whatever. Let's say it's an Imperium list."
And that's what I was saying, though.
Yeah,
it
you're
is
exactly right.
so easy to take advantage of
Yes.
the ignorance of other players
to
just
make a
because they
mistake.
don't know, because there's so many different rule references
And
that
not
you
even
have to
necessarily
do.
cheating.
And no one, but
It
no
could be
one
an
has
honest
the
mistake.
time to go through 4 different
Unless
rules references
the
in order to
event-
make sure your opponent's
unless
playing
the event
correctly.
gives you or gives themselves their time. And that's what the LVO and the ITC has
Yeah,
done.
absolutely.
And Adepticon's like, come on in and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Adepticon's clearly doing well.
Ad-
Like, I'm not trying to
Adepticon
poop
ha-
on Adepticon.
Really, it comes down to Adepticon had the resources to demand, hey, 3 weeks in advance, you gotta
and
have
if
me
they
your
didn't,
list.
if they didn't, the ITC literally is there to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there is a tournament organizers page where I see people from Australia, asking how to run their event coming up in August or whatever. There's support there. Because Adepticon didn't use the ITC code of conduct, they didn't use the chess clocks, they didn't use the list submission. You know what I mean?
I mean that's.
These big to me, if I don't know what it costs to play at Adepticon. It's at least
I
$40,
don't know.
but then you got to get there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, it just. Honestly, that's not an ITC thing or an Adepticon thing. That's GW. GW should have a list builder where it checks your legality right there. Like
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm starting to wonder if they're ever going to put that app out.
They're
because the thing that they protect higher than anything else
is the points
is their
values.
points values.
Yeah.
And for 40K anyway, for Age of Sigmar, they really are not nearly as closely knit to the chest with that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm wondering what.
Well, no, it's the same.
I mean, not really. I mean,
It's the same other than they have Azir. But you pay monthly for Azir also.
Yeah, but it's what do you pay for Azir a month?
It's
like a
$1.50.
dollar. Yeah, yeah. Like I would pay that.
$1.50.
Right, but
yeah.
think about it. If you
I would pay
got
that
100,000 players,
Yeah, I would
worldwide,
pay that
No,
for
yeah,
a
that's-
40K app
no,
in a heartbeat.
I understand that.
In a heartbeat.
No, I would too.
And I don't know.
people would pay more.
Yeah.
People would pay. I might pay $5 a month.
I
honestly,
might. It would have to blow Battlescribe out of the water.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I don't know
I would
what the
consider
rules
it.
references would be like on something like that, because for $1.50 a
In-
month
in
you
Azir,
can't.
you get everything.
you get access to the War Scrolls.
You get access to the War Scrolls, and also if you buy the Battle Tome, if you buy the Battle Tome through Azir, then you get access to everything else. You
I was
get,
just
you get
about
all
to
the
say, that's
battalions,
what
you
you would
get the
have to do.
relics, and you get everything.
Okay, but yeah, that's
So-
what you would have to do then.
As a
just
store
because-
owner, I don't want to see him incentivize too much digital.
Yeah.
Because I still think it's
Well, I
important
mean,
to be able to sell the book.
I will always.
Well,
I will
I
always
like
buy
having
a physical
I like
codex.
having a hard copy. I'm
I
not sure.
agree.
I'm not sure if I would pay $50 per army or whatever it would be just to have those rules references on there when battle.
I think
starts
they're
on it
usually
for
like
free,
25 digitally. I think
I don't think
they-
they're that much cheaper. They might be for Sigmar, but not 40K. I'm pretty sure
They're
40K.
quite comparable. They're
Yeah.
they're
Really?
near the same.
It
price.
might be like a $5.
I might be thinking the
difference at
Gamer
most.
Edition they released a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
Okay,
that's what it, that was a lot
yeah,
cheaper.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
it-
was 20. I think that was actually $25.
Yeah, there was like no fluff
Which I
in
think
it at
that's a
all.
great idea too.
Also, like where did those mini codexes go? You remember the bite-sized ones that were like?
I'm so glad they don't do those anymore because those were always ATO. They were cool.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
then
they
for
were
a
really
while,
neat,
like I remember
but-
Little
the only one I could get
bite-sized
was.
codex.
Do you remember them?
Yeah,
There was the
Yeah.
only one I could get for a while. The Tyranid one was
Tyranid
only
one,
small, and
then
the
there
guys
was
like,
a
I don't want
Chaos
this.
one, too.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, to be fair, no one actually wanted it.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
oh
I
man,
forgot about those.
yeah.
Ugh.
Oh god.
So okay, we had some other cultural events over the weekend. Okay, so we had the Star Wars celebration in Chicago. Okay, so we got the yeah, that's where the have you seen the trailer?
Yes, I've seen the trailer.
Okay, they premiered that at the Star Wars celebration in Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Star Wars celebration in
Yeah.
Chicago. That's what I was wondering.
Well, they
I
also
didn't know
released
about
the
that either.
Obi-Wan card got leaked for Legion.
Oh yeah, I saw that like last
wait,
last
what?
week.
I
The
didn't-
Obi-Wan card got leaked.
Yeah,
It's
all
kind
his
of
rules.
weird, really. Like he's got like
you mean
Guardian
like the General
3. Yeah.
General Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does Guardian 3 work?
Um,
I need to play more Legion, man. 'cause I'm
either
like,
he can intercept shots,
Or you can allocate them to units near him.
Yeah, it's one of those two things, but I want to say he intercepts shots
For others.
for other characters
Because he's got a red save and he's a Jedi, so he'll be able to deflect.
yeah, he has. The
Eli, I don't,
he has
I don't
a,
think
he
I
has a weird
necessarily
version of
agree
deflect.
that GW wants ambiguity. I
don't think so.
I don't think I necessarily agree with that.
I think it's just too big. I think 40K is such a behemoth.
I think you're. Well,
They
I
want
think,
you to play with the models.
I don't
That's
want-
number one. They want you to play with them and buy them.
I
That's,
think I don't want to get back too much into 40K because we just kind of rolled away from it. But I think one of our chief problems in 40K, just generally speaking, the games are too big. I'm going to throw it out there right now. We are playing with too many models.
But
at
it's.
once.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't think I agree
I don't.
with that.
I don't want to agree with that. But it's just true.
Well,
Like, we're playing
because
with
if we
too many
say
models.
that,
Then you
if
need
we
to
say
make
that, that means
vehicles
there's no
better.
room for growth. If it's too big, we can't grow.
Well, what you could do is I mean, and this is something they should do because it's a real problem right now, is you could come up for real reasons to have different units and actually give you versatile units in your codexes instead of just this unit is just better than this
Right,
other
but
unit.
like,
Doesn't
let's-
matter.
let's-
Just better.
let's-
I'm going to pick it every time.
It's cheaper.
Let's give them the benefit
better,
of the
it's cheaper.
whatever.
Well, let's
for
give them the
whatever
benefit of the
reason.
doubt because, like, the Space Marine Codex that's going to come out at some point this year. I think we all agree we're going to get one this year.
Yeah,
right?
they'll probably do
Yeah.
a 2.0. but-
Oh, they're definitely going to get a 2.0.
but,
They've
you know-
come out with way too much Primaris stuff
But
for
that's
it not to happen.
But that's now that'll be over 2 years into 8th edition.
yeah.
They can maybe start to break out and say, look, we can do this with this engine that we've built.
Jason thinks it's too small. It should be 25 or 3,000.
Really?
Oh,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
games?
I completely.
Hey,
I
that,
completely
I would have
disagree.
agreed with that at the beginning of the edition when everything was more expensive. But I think prices have come down, points have come down so
Yeah.
much. I think honestly, I think we need to go the other way. I think the games need to be between 1,500 and 1,800. I think 2,000 is too destructive.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I'm saying our
I thought
games
you were
are just
talking.
too bigger.
I thought you were talking about the model range was too big.
Oh,
and the
hell-
faction
Oh,
range.
no.
No,
no.
not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
No, that's one of the things
More
I
models
love the most.
forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I
but-
don't necessarily disagree.
Okay, yeah, I
don't
think the
necessarily disagree.
game sizes.
I
are just
think
too
I think if you shrink
I
the
don't-
points
I don't know.
value, I'm talking strictly competitively. If you want to play
Yeah,
8,000 points,
absolutely.
you go for it, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm still
I just know that a
It
lot
makes
of
the
people
table
would struggle to finish a 3,000 point game in 2.5 hours.
Maybe turn one would be so much more destructive.
I was about to say that the more points you
because at
add,
3,000 points, you're not playing rule of 3 anymore. You're playing rule of 4.
yeah. Well,
Has
yeah,
that-
I
is
think
that
that's
a
the
thing?
Scale up.
recommendation. I think it's
What was it?
yeah.
At
There-
3,000 points?
At 3,000 points.
Yeah, 3,000 points is
Could
rule
you
4.
could you fit 8 Riptides into 3,000 points? And still have a good list?
Absolutely.
I don't know. Well, 8 Riptides at I don't really want to do that. 8 Riptides at 280, but I don't think so.
What about 6?
Maybe
Six and still be able
don't
to
know.
make a good list?
4 I could definitely do. 5 probably could do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the rule of 3 didn't exist, I might try to run 5.
Jason says list building is very much event specific, and I totally agree. It's based on the
Yeah.
missions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like, if you're playing ITC, that's why
Absol-
10 commanders were
absolutely.
bad.
Yeah,
in
no,
ITC.
that's why they were, but then that rule changed, so now they're all over the place. Tank commanders are everywhere.
What rule changed?
In the ITC rule,
Oh, okay.
it basically
10 by
like I
6.
might get this wrong, but like they changed a rule where you can't score multiple.
Jason, don't talk like that. You
objectives with a
you had
single
your
kill.
chance to play on a 10 by 6, and you
Okay.
didn't show up.
So basically, it was like
Okay,
it was like
you
kill a
kill a
character,
kill a
someone with 10 more
vehicle.
wins.
Yeah.
So like one unit kill doesn't count for all these objectives anymore.
Okay.
So like
No,
you
that
can
makes
score
total
like
sense.
4
good,
objectives
but
off just
that
one
makes it a
tank
little
commander.
clunky.
I disagree 100%.
It-
You have to work for your
It might
objectives.
now listen. It might be better, but that doesn't mean it's not clunky.
the
Why would
only
it be
the
clunky?
only
because
issue
now you have to okay, I'm going to count that one for my killer character, not my big game hunter.
That
or
doesn't sound
whatever.
clunky at all.
That's literally clunky.
No, that is very simple. You just told me exactly what you wanted to do.
That's clunky
How is that clunky?
because now I have to spend time choosing that. I'm not saying it's not
you
better.
should have chosen before you decided to shoot at it. You should be thinking much further ahead.
That doesn't mean it's not clunky. That's all I'm saying. I agree, it's better. I
don't
agree,
know,
it's
the
better.
word clunky to me is that's not it at all. That's
It takes more time.
it takes forethought.
any whoozin.
Plus, I mean, you can't sit there and advocate that a single model kill should cover all of your tertiary objectives.
I don't think it should either. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't necessarily agree, but the only other problem I could see with that is if you have too many objectives. Because I'm not sure, are any of them randomly generated?
No.
Or do you,
No, you
so you
choose all
do
everything.
pick them all? Okay, so that does.
There's no random in the ITC.
But you could overkill your objectives just because of how that stuff can
Right.
work.
You remember when they used
So-
to roll 3 dice and choose 2? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But they took out all the random now. Now it's literally hold
remember that.
more, kill more. You get bonus points. I like it. I like
You
it.
get an objective
saw-
for killing something. You get an objective for holding something.
Yeah,
you
no,
get
I saw
another
him and
objective-
Loopkey here playing it the other day. So
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's very different, but it allows you to play with 4 objectives or 5 objectives, not always 6.
it's not. Yeah, well, it's not always Maelstrom, right?
Right,
So.
which I do like the Maelstrom cards. Anyway,
too.
we
Me
wanted to
too.
talk about the they love them in Europe. The Americans have rejected them competitively, and the
the
Europeans
cards?
apparently love the cards.
Oh, I love the cards.
Yeah, I, love
I
the
do too,
cards,
but do you love them competitively?
Yeah, why
Yes.
not?
Okay,
The-
then you're,
the-
then
the
you're
way-
European by
the
thought
way
process.
we run them. The way we
Sure.
like
Did you
to
just
run
call him a commie?
No, I just I said it was European.
Oh, I get you. Not.
I could have said he was Greek.
not Eastern
You saying I'm
European.
yeah, right. So it's hard. Okay, so the cultural events of the weekend. So number 1, we got to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. especially
Tony, go.
before
I'm
the-
going to cue it up here. So you do your thing.
Listen, he's always doing the
I
thing.
know, I know.
Like,
He's
But we're-
always doing.
We're
the
going to talk
thing.
about. There was an abomination born in Chicago this weekend.
That's right. We're
listen,
back on Star Wars.
listen. Let's just talk about it like it's a movie.
It was Leviathan.
All right, so the Star Wars Episode 9
Demonic
trailer,
Scourge.
Rise of Skywalker, has released.
Why? Okay.
Why is it called Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know.
Can we
because
talk about
that should have been
they're
like the
disconnected with reality? So like, Carrie Fisher dies in real life, has a perfect opportunity to be killed off in the movie tastefully, right? And they don't do it. They bring her back in The Last Jedi.
dude, I know.
And so you have to put fake footage in or stock footage of her hugging Rey.
Dude, what do you want? Holograms are in right now.
I've made small videos and I've like tried building stuff around scenes and it does not go well. And that's what they
doesn't
literally
turn
did
out-
with this.
It doesn't turn out good, right?
No.
I can only imagine. But I mean, it is. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar
Right, but why-
company producing the movie.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. They're disconnected. Like, just kill her. It's okay to have that character die in that moment. It's
Especially-
very impactful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
They killed off-
since
I'm
her
partially
character
surprised.
They killed off
be
the other
anything.
2 original characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm partially
neither of them are dead.
surprised. I'm partially surprised that they haven't killed her off yet, just because that was the trend of just like bringing back all these old childhood Star Wars characters and then just killing
Oh,
them.
Well, more
Lando's
importantly-
gonna die.
For the new
Lando's
ones.
gonna die in this
Oh,
movie.
absolutely.
More
The-
importantly, she's dead in
Palpatine,
real life.
They're bringing them back.
She was
they're
dead in
gonna
real
kill
life.
him.
Yep,
Like,
okay, he
Bringing them
absolutely-
back for one movie just to kill.
to
Stupidest
add on to
idea.
that, they
But-
literally they kill Luke. There's no Skywalkers left.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no Sky.
Well,
and now this movie's okay. They never really leave. I heard the trailer.
no, that's not what I was
No
going to
one's
say.
ever really
He's
gone.
literally. But okay, there's no Skywalkers left, so they named the movie The Rise of Skywalker
Yeah, I know.
after every Skywalker has fallen. Okay,
Well,
I understand they're going to try to build it.
Well, I
Let
mean,
it go.
it's- well, story-wise,
it's gonna be about
technically-
Kylo, right?
Kylo's not a Skywalker.
He's not-
He's a
no,
Solo.
no, no.
he's technically a Solo.
I mean,
but-
you're right, but he has Skywalker blood. Okay.
Well, so does Rey, right? Like we're gonna get to that. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say.
you think
right?
Rey's a Force baby? She's got to be.
I
She's
don't
far
know
more
ex-
gifted than
Marking.
Anakin.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean by Force bait. Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like
like
virgin-
Anakin was
okay.
conceived by the Force.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe. I mean, that
She
would
has
actually
to be, dude. She doesn't do anything wrong.
that would actually be an interesting.
I disagree.
No, well, it would make sense from the point of that
She can't fail.
Well, not necessarily. Let me finish.
Okay.
Before you get all hyperbolic.
She is the Force.
Well,
The Force is
We
her.
can feel the
It's-
ray
it's-
pulsing through us.
it would be a good thing to interject just because of we don't really know who her parents are, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
right.
at
and it's-
least this would be a
well,
convenient.
The Last Jedi was like, your parents don't matter.
That's
remember
true.
that?
That's very true. But did you hear what J.J. Abrams said about this one?
I can only imagine.
We're going to conclude to who her parents are in this one.
Neil, you're absolutely right. She should have died there.
Eli, we've already had 10 Smash tournaments and you don't show up.
You are a liar. Just have one.
We've had 8 of them.
Dude, you lie
Okay, so listen.
constantly.
Neil commented, Neil, you're alive. Scoofy.
Goofus?
Okay, so
Goodness.
anyway, Rey's a lost character, right? Like she that trailer showed us that she can't do anything wrong.
Well, she's the Star Wars Mary Sue. I mean, that's all you need.
Like
That's all you need to say.
Is she worse than Superman at his peak? Because she literally has never had a challenge that really was challenging.
I don't know. I mean,
Or if she did,
honestly, if you want my opinion, that'd be an interesting fight. Like
Superman. I feel
like
bad
Rey
for
versus
Superman. I feel
Like,
bad for him.
That could actually turn out to be an interesting.
She would pull a
interesting
kryptonite
fight.
lightsaber out of her.
I mean, if they did that,
It would just
Out of
magically
her
be
force.
kryptonite because of the force.
She'd
what
be
if they
like this,
made?
she'd be like,
what if they made?
and pull it.
Well, I guess it's got to be a special crystal, right, to get the
Yeah.
for the lightsaber. Okay. Well, you can't use
No,
kryptonite for
dude,
that?
it's gonna be
I
one of
don't
those
know.
things where you're like,
You're supposed to know these things. You're the tech guy.
She could be on TLC with her crystal meth lightsaber.
Oh my
And
god.
like stomp out addiction.
oh
Hey,
my
you need
God.
something done. You call
Why
Rey.
would you use a crystal meth lightsaber? Just stomp out a dick.
I don't know. You
That doesn't
said
even make sense.
you said a crystal, and it made me think of crystal meth. So
I was talking about kryptonite, but all right.
a rock, bro.
Anywhoozin',
Oh, okay. Look, no one
Read
ever
the
stays
darn
gone. This movie's gonna be terrible, and I hope it stays gone.
I mean,
Okay, like I don't want Palpatine to come
Jason,
back. It's gonna be
Jason, he
bad.
only had a kid with Mara Jade in the EU. They blew that up. They Cersei Lannistered that crap. It's gone.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, she's blew it up.
Hey, haven't talked about Game of Thrones yet.
Yeah, we'll get there.
No.
In the next 14 minutes.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, okay, so the trailer shows us Rey's never going to be in any kind of peril.
Hey, that's not true. She almost got ran over.
By an interstellar starfighter.
She jumped over it.
And is gonna cut it in half. Yes.
There was honestly
Probably.
like 8 or 9 seconds of that trailer. I'm like, okay, well, this might not be that bad. And then she leapt over a TIE fighter. I was like, dude, I'm done.
Okay, come on,
Tim, that was
Look,
like the first 10 seconds of
I
the
know.
trailer.
But
All
there
right,
was
look.
8 seconds where there was hope, and
There-
then they squashed
well,
it.
there was
I'm
a
gonna go
lot
as-
of time
I'm gonna
when
go
she was
as
just
far to
staring
Yeah, it
say
might have
that
been
was
12
literally
seconds,
like
15
the
seconds.
best part of the trailer. Okay.
I think it looks
Might have
stupid.
been.
Look, she's.
I
she's
understand Jedis can do that, but it just
She's
with
a,
that character.
She's a Jedi.
how?
Like, or would it have been cooler to see Kylo do it?
No, it would have been cooler to not have that happen.
Why?
Why does that need to happen?
Because she's a Jedi. Sure, she's okay.
Like her father before-
I
wait,
shouldn't
no.
say that she's a Jedi. She doesn't have any formal training.
She
She-
to be fair, Luke
do
finished.
not
Luke finished
Try
his
to
training.
tell me that he trained her.
Luke finished his training with Yoda via Force Ghost between the 5th and 6th movie.
Well,
that
their
did
little,
happen.
Their little weekend at
Right?
Bernie's thing that
Right?
they
It
did.
was all
Yeah,
off
I
to
think
does
so.
not
It's
count.
been a long time since I've seen
Well, Luke shows up as a Jedi Master in the Return of the Jedi. Now, we can say that Return of the Jedi was one of the weaker Star Wars films because there's a lot of stupid stuff. Okay, we got Ewoks. Luke shows up. There's no character movement. He shows up with everything he needs, but he still does have. He has a moment where he gives into his anger about Leia, so he's still not a perfect character. And he loses. At the end of the day, he loses the fight.
Continuous tangent, real quick. Someone pointed out to me recently that Ewoks were eating people. And
Absolutely.
I thought
Yeah.
that was the coolest thing ever. I didn't notice that
Dude,
before.
when they're playing drums on the empty helmets, like it's so
Yeah.
barbaric.
Like they're eating stormtroopers. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's subtle
they
barbarianism.
Originally,
Yeah.
they tied them up on.
No, I
poles,
know, but I
and
mean,
we're gonna go cook them.
when you're a kid, you never make that realization, and then like someone pointed that out to me, I'm like, holy crap, they eat those people.
They eat the
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
That's so awesome. That
Brutal.
jumped Ewoks up on my cool factor quite a bit. Like
I've never
That
had
they
a
put that
massive
in there.
problem with Ewoks.
I sure as hell don't now.
I've never had a real big
awesome.
problem with them. Like
I think that
it's the weakest part of the film.
I think
Yeah,
it would have just
yeah.
been cooler if it was just a bunch of rebels.
I agree.
Fighting
I agree.
guerrilla
but
style.
rebels don't sell toys.
No,
So
you're
that
right.
I mean that was clearly a.
Did you buy the merch?
Yeah, I mean that's
So okay, so what are your hopes for this December? Are we talking total abomination or? Because I'm going to be honest,
I hope Chapter Approved is pretty good.
even after the Last Jedi, it was Schrodinger's Star Wars film, right? Because there was a chance that they didn't kill it, but I think that trailer
In
shows
what?
us.
It was, it
Dude,
was-
there was a chance, and I'm going to be
What do
honest.
you mean?
There was an outside
There
chance
has-
that 9 wasn't going to be utter trash, but that chance, I think,
Well,
they shut the door.
I had high hopes for 7. I was let down.
I didn't.
I had
knew
high
7
hopes.
was going to
I
be
had
bad.
high hopes for 8.
had high hopes for
I was let down.
I remember
I
going
am
to 8
not-
saying it can't be
I-
worse than
it's gonna
7,
get
and
to
boy, was I wrong.
So here you sit, saying, "Can't be worse than 8."
No.
Just wait.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
saying that anymore.
It's common.
I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
there was hope, and then the trailer
There
showed
is
it.
not a new hope.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
So yeah, in the trailer, it gives you she shows up at 10 seconds. She jumps over the TIE fighter at 1 minute and 10 seconds.
A minute? Wow.
Yeah, she
There's that
stares at
much
the
time?
camera for. Well,
Turn
she
on
starts running at like
Screen
30
must have timed out.
seconds.
I'm gonna be honest. The first part of that, like every trailer we've gotten for this franchise, this new rebooted franchise, the main character is in the desert breathing heavily. Or not the main. I mean, Finn was the first one. Remember, like
Have
the
I
first
ever-
image you see is like,
Have I ever pointed out how useless Finn is?
I think the whole entire world, anybody with eyes
But like
realizes.
think about his character and what he did in The Last Jedi, right?
He had the chance to have a redemptive moment, and then Rose
and he
ran him off
he
the
failed.
track.
But like
That
if you-
wasn't his fault.
But if you think about everything that happened with him, he failed at every
He's a failure.
single attempted action
No,
in that
nope,
movie.
Nope. He got, due to his custodial knowledge, he got them into Starkiller Base.
He got them in and then did nothing.
No, his
He
job
didn't
was to get
do
them in.
anything there.
His job, actually, he dueled.
he
He
fought
dueled the
Kylo
Sith
Ren.
Master. Yeah,
Yeah.
And won basically.
Well, she won.
I would be. I
Well,
would be
she-
very
yeah, he
hesitant
got
to
cut in
call
the spine.
Kylo a Sith Master.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, well, he.
Hello, she can be a Jedi Master.
I actually think you might be
She's
right.
actually a cut
Eli?
above Master.
You're right. So she's
She is far more powerful than
Well-
Yoda and Sidious
Oh
combined.
yes, Yoda's got no chance.
I do have some reservations about 9 that I'm really waiting to see. I don't know what the
I don't think there's any way it's good.
Dude, are you? I'm just floored that
Maybe,
Kylo Ren couldn't cut
but-
a guy in half when he stabbed him with his
little
lightsaber.
savages.
but
Like she's
I
gonna
think-
cut that TIE fighter in
I
half
do-
with one hand. And
I
he
do
couldn't
agree with
cut
Eli
through
that
a
I
dude.
think it might be the better of the whole trilogy. I'm waiting to see where they go with Palpatine.
Yeah,
Now the-
Neil, we play
now the
all
whole-
the Star Wars
He's
tabletop
gonna
games here.
just
Yeah, we do.
die.
Now we don't. Well, we don't even know if he's actually in the movie, right? The Palpatine.
I think
he
that he
could
has
be a
to be,
callback
right?
as a character.
I think that he's.
There's
Okay, they're
no
going to
way they would
retcon
put
the
his
first
life
two.
in there. There's no way they'd
laugh,
put his
yeah.
laugh in there and not have him
Be
be,
the
a villain,
integral part of the
yeah.
story.
He wouldn't just be a flashback.
That-
like there's no way that they.
The
would
only
do
way
that.
this movie is good,
That's
the only
such
way
a-
it's good, is if Palpatine the whole time has been pulling the strings, which is a retcon, total
Well,
retcon,
yeah, I mean,
to try
yeah,
to save
he-
the
he
franchise,
flew
but
down- he-
makes
I mean,
Rey the bad guy. That's the only way this
You know,
series is
they wouldn't have
redeemed.
had to do that if Snoke didn't die.
No, I know.
Snoke
which was
wasn't
just,
a terrible character.
No.
Like he wasn't bad.
Ryan
Well, I mean, he
Johnson was awful.
he was basically just
Why would they
new
give that guy
Palpatine.
the keys?
Like he
No,
would
no, I mean,
deformed
you're
face.
You're absolutely right.
Like really powerful Sith Lord,
Look,
I mean,
you're right, but
kind of.
but you know it's been so long.
new Palpatine.
How is Palpatine still alive?
Well,
the
I
dark
mean-
side. And, yeah,
well,
I get
I mean,
that.
he
well,
fell down.
apparently
He
in
also
the EU
fell-
he didn't
He
die.
fell down the shaft of the Death Star,
And then it blew up.
exploded.
How
Like-
did he?
Well, his
did he
master
get away?
couldn't save himself from death. Maybe he figured it out.
Well, they say he was cloned too.
Clone.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
I think
that's
like
what
a,
EU was,
I
right?
was
He
about to
was-
say, I
Well,
think
and
that's a
also he
very-
was the one who was able to create life out of midichlorians, basically, because he was the one who was
Did he?
responsible for Anakin, to my knowledge.
Really? I didn't know that.
That I thought that was canon.
Really?
That
That could be
somebody-
a fan theory.
I thought George Lucas said that. I don't. He said a lot of weird stuff though.
Yeah, but Jason, Darth Maul might have survived that fall, but he wasn't on the Death Star when it happened.
Yeah, I was about to say the thing he fell into didn't explode into outer space.
Yeah, but to be
Right.
fair, that chasm that Darth Maul fell down was infinitely long. We have no idea how deep that was.
I
Like,
mean, it could have just been dark down there.
you're right. He fell 8 feet. So anticlimactic. Like they have
thud.
this massive structure, and like the hole they go to is 8 feet deep.
Although he was literally
the
cut in
lights
half.
off.
Yeah, but he did live. Like
It seems to be the. I've
it's
seen
canon that he lived.
Yeah,
that
he's in,
survived
he's in
the
the
fall.
Which
he's
is
in the
also
car-
stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
And
let
well,
these guys go.
Luke fell down a similarly long hole in
Yeah, but he did
Five,
some,
yeah.
he did some
In Empire.
tricky Force stuff and like went into a chute.
I know.
I was, you at
I mean,
least
are you
got
gonna
to
say
see
that Palpatine
him fall
couldn't do
through
tricky
and
Force
everything.
stuff?
I watched.
So-
Listen,
But
I
he's the
saw
lead
the footage.
character.
He's
You're
like,
gonna see what he does.
Cloud City didn't explode. Like,
Yeah, you're
Right,
right.
right.
Again,
Yeah.
yet again, in space.
yes, exactly. It's
not like-
outside of an atmosphere. Like,
all right, we got
come on.
9's gonna be bad. The trailer was bad.
I think
I'm sick of the adventures of Finn and Poe. Like I'm over it.
It's I think it could potentially be the better of the whole trilogy.
Death Star
Now, that's
exploding
not saying
is
much.
just a blaster shot. Deflect it.
The bar is pretty low. You're right.
Jason.
I mean, like
So, yeah, I
the
mean,
bar is pretty low.
So
for
it
this.
could very well be the better of the whole trilogy.
Look,
given that the rest of the
I
trilogy
don't know anybody that's watched
All
The
I'm
Last Jedi
saying
multiple times and
is
liked it
that
more.
it doesn't take a lot to exceed my expectations.
No, I know exactly.
At this point,
and I think
no.
I think it might. I think it might do the same thing for.
I
I do
don't
remain
know.
optimistic.
We got to
because
cram here now.
I do love Star Wars.
Speaking of
but
exceeding, I do too, but it's dead
Do
to
not
me.
say.
Well, I mean-
Exceeding
Do not say it.
expectations.
what are you guys expecting for Legion?
Cool. So we got to move on to Game of Thrones. We'll
No,
talk
we
Legion
don't.
next
Let's
week.
talk about Legion.
Game of Thrones happened this week. That is a massive cultural shift.
Yeah.
right? Like,
However,
it's-
I will say
How
that
much-
nothing happened. It was an episode of just a lot of talking. Which
Can I tell you
isn't-
how thankful I am that nothing happened in this? Like, no,
I
not to
wasn't-
say it was a
nothing
boring
happened
episode.
to upset me.
Well, no. Okay, the last 3.5 seasons have been utter smut. Okay, so like there were things that I did not like about season 8 episode 1,
8th edition.
King True. Yes.
but they were really because the last 3 seasons have set us up with such garbage.
Yeah.
Season 7 was so bad, and 6 and 5 were so awful, and most of 4 was trash. So like we have characters that don't have any meaning that now they're trying to wrap up in season 8, and they're like, oh man, like we need to drastically change them to make them make sense.
Did you see Eli's comment?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. He says he did create Anakin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you got that from.
Did
me
he really
or-
create?
No,
Anakin?
no. No, I did not get that. I thought
Okay.
it was from. I thought George Lucas said it.
Okay, so spoiler alert here for anyone that hasn't watched the first episode of season 8 yet. You've been warned. I know you don't care. Pretty much the biggest thing that happened.
Jake, what's your opinion
in
on it?
this episode? The biggest thing that happened in this episode was John finding out about his lineage.
Yep. And
that-
riding a dragon with no practice. That was good.
I mean, Danny didn't have any practice.
Yeah,
wrote
but she
him.
had to cow the dragon. Anyway,
Wait, hold on. Explain Cow the Dragon.
she had to assert dominance over the dragon.
Okay.
John just shows up.
I just got an image of a cow
John rayed it.
and a dragon.
He raided.
Yeah, and then and
Anyway,
the dragon's mom was like, "Let him on," and it's like, "Okay." Anyway, who cares?
It's funny how dragons they don't care about what mom says. I mean, in the show they clearly do, but go ahead.
Okay, but in any case, that was pretty much the biggest development. And then aside from that, the wildlings meet up with the guys from Castle Black as they're on their way back to Winterfell.
One of the most
that's-
horrific scenes I've
about it.
seen in a while in Game of Thrones was at Last Hearth. That was pretty
Yeah.
pretty gnarly. But no, they spent the episode bringing people to the same place. Nobody teleported. Time elapsed.
Give it time, man.
I don't know, because I distinctly remember that in season 1 they said it would take 6 months to get from King's Landing to Winterfell, and this time they did it in 2 weeks. So but again, stand up. You have a map of the world
Yeah.
on your shirt. So
Is that good representation of the
so
map?
there,
Yeah, it's
It's pretty close. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
That
Oh wait.
there
Oh sorry.
to here, it takes them 2 weeks. That the same amount of time for the White Walkers to get from here to here. It doesn't add up,
Maybe the White Walkers are slower.
and they
man.
don't have to sleep.
They don't have to sleep.
At any rate,
That's a pretty good advantage.
Season 7 was there was hopping all around. Like geography didn't mean anything, and it really has put us in a bad spot for season 8 because now all these things have to happen, and we only have 5 episodes left of the show, and they've got to cram it all in because season 7 was a wasted season.
Did you see that they have re-edited episode 3 and added an extra 22 minutes to the episode?
For what? For this year? For
For,
season
for,
8?
for season 8, yeah.
No,
they-
I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
no, they because they came out with a timeline showing how the runtime for each episode.
Yeah.
And they had re-edited episode 3 to make it
20 minutes longer.
22 minutes longer. Yeah.
Well, that'll. I'm sure that will make all the times make sense in season 7.
They can't go back, man.
They're giving time back.
Season 7 really was it was painfully bad. Like we had to rewatch it to be ready for season 8, and I remember it being bad, but it is horrendously
Wait a
bad.
second.
It's not that bad.
Hey, dude, when's the last time you watched it? We rewatched it.
With you.
Okay, so a year ago?
No,
Or
no,
year and a half?
with you.
You did not watch every episode
I
with
did
us.
not watch every episode with you, but we got in like a good 2-3 episodes.
I don't think that's true. It's horrible.
Super Mario World never had like a snow area.
They did in the star map. There was a snow level in the
There was a
star
snow
there?
level in the star map.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember.
Are we
But
sure
just
about that?
not like a world,
No,
though. Not like an area.
Not like
Why
one
not?
of the original Marios. No,
Yeah, there was like
a whole ice component, like where you slip.
Yeah, well, I mean that was Super Mario 3, right? But like they
Was it 3?
Yeah, well, I mean actually they might have
had it
even
in
had
3.
one in the
They had it in 3. I don't know if that was
they
the
had
first
like
time.
Ice World and like the originals too. Well, I think you might be right where you might have slipped.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Super Mario, I don't think has. I think they have. There's a snow. Well, okay. The
I don't know if you
Star
slipped or
World,
not.
all the 5 Star Worlds are on. Like it's an icy plateau, but I don't know if the
Is it
worlds
nice
are
and
on.
plateau
I don't-
or
I
is
don't
it
think it-
clouds?
The star
I
shape
think it's
is
clouds.
icy.
I don't
No,
know
I
if it's
don't-
exactly
is it
ice.
clouds?
I'm pretty sure it's clouds.
I think it's some sort of
Cloud-like
ethereal
material.
dust
Clouds.
made from like stars and
clouds.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Episode 1 of season 8.
cloud is, you butt
Episode
pipe.
1 of season 8 was pretty good. Okay, like it was by no means perfect. We're never gonna get the creative writing back all the way.
No, not all the way.
but-
I did enjoy the episode.
It was. I think it was a good episode. It, was the
good.
best one we've had in 3.5 seasons.
I would not say that. I
Well,
would
name
not
a
say
better
that at all.
episode.
Hard Home.
Dude, Hard Home was not. There was a good scene in Hard Home. The episode overall was not.
Hard Home was the Battle of Hard Home was literally half the episode. It was like 35 minutes long.
I'll tell you what. Hard Home was okay.
Battle of the Bastards.
That was not good.
It was better than this episode,
I disagree wholeheartedly.
dude. It was just
Dude, when he shot Rickon, he's like, just run for a mile.
You were only upset about that because that's not how it happened in the book.
No, I'm
but
upset about it 'cause
cinematically,
it's
happened
stupid.
just fine.
It was dumb.
Ramsey is a.
He's a master
he's a-
bowman.
No, well, I mean, apparently everyone around there is. You like the like.
It
the
was
level-
stupid. He should have slit his throat right there. Like it just didn't make any sense.
It's darker
that was
and
it.
fits his character.
No, it'd be way darker to say you're free, just kidding, and then stab the piss out of him.
or
Instead
give
of,
him a false
"Hey,
sense of hope and just
Let me give
gun
you a
him down
mile
while
and a
he
half.
runs
Let me
to
give
his
you a
brother.
mile and a half head start, and I'll hit you. Stupid, dumb.
I don't know.
Anyway, Battle of Bastards was trash, but okay.
I'm glad you guys both enjoyed your first episode of Game of Thrones for season 8.
It was
I'm
yeah.
best
really
best
happy.
episode
We're
we've
gonna
had
do this
for-
every week, Brad.
Yeah, for 5 more weeks.
That's okay. I'll be fine.
Oh, turns
All right,
out
guys. What?
Turns out Super Mario World did have a nice area.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, I just put it up on the screen. So.
Did you?
Oh wait, no,
you
it
gotta
did.
put it up on my
it did.
screen.
The final area before you get to Bowser's
Was
castle.
snow, wasn't it?
It was like
It
ice
was a-
caverns and like.
it was like a cave, yeah. But,
yeah, but they were all ice.
was it?
Yeah.
I remember ice. I remember a lot.
No, I remember
Or
ice
maybe
now that I'm
or
thinking
were
about
they
it.
just like crystals? I don't know.
yeah, I don't
feel
think it was
feel like-
ice.
I don't know. I feel like it looked
I
like
don't think
ice.
it was ice. I'll
There were
I'll take a
definitely
look at what
there were
you've got
definitely
up.
clouds.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, next week we'll talk some Legion. Tony, we're going to talk about censorship next week, so remind me.
No, because every time we start to talk about it, he just cuts us to a black
He
screen.
censors us. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about the triple platform, the double platform,
Yeah,
whatever.
Hey, we need
Two
more
this
people
week,
watching on
unfortunately.
Twitch. So if you're
Yeah,
watching
jump
on
on
Facebook,
Twitch.
switch over to Twitch for next week. We'll do better to talk about that at the beginning of the podcast as opposed to the very end. But
Good idea.
yes,
All right, guys. We love you. See you next week.
episode
Thanks
37
for coming in,
at
Jake.
ya.
Good hearing from you.
All right, what do you got pulled up?